Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. The nation was rocked recently with the revelation that 215 unmarked graves have been found at a former residential school in Kamloops. I made a video on the subject, so if you want to catch up and learn a bit more about that, you can check that out. But the main focus is now a sad and horrifying update to the story. Several other schools have since, done some work and found even more unmarked graves, bringing the number up to, I think, 572. That was until this morning, when the Cowessess First Nation out in Saskatchewan reported 751 unmarked graves. That more than doubles the current number. And these are just a handful of the 139 residential schools across this vast country. What's also very telling and damning is the Catholic Church's continued reticence to come forward with culpability and guilt and an actual apology to the Indigenous people. It's also really damning and telling that the Catholic Church ran a majority, like 70 or 71% of all residential schools in Canada. Now, with regards to the Cowessess First Nation story that's going to be dominating the news today, the school didn't close until 1997, and the building was demolished in 1999. This is not old history. I am older than the last residential school. This is not ancient trauma. This is living memory for a lot of people. And yet, there are absolute assholes who still try and make it about them. Another story I heard today on the commute into work was this preacher from Mississauga. A Mississauga, Ontario priest is under fire after a sermon referencing the good done by the Roman Catholic Church in residential schools, saying some might go so far as to even thank it. During his sermon at the Merciful Redeemer Parish last Sunday, Monsignor Owen Keenan referenced the Kamloops BC residential school that had reported it had discovered the preliminary remains of more than 200 children in unmarked graves back in May. And here's what he had to say. 2/3 of the country is blaming the church, which we love, for the tragedies that occurred there, he said on a video originally posted to the church's YouTube page, but since deleted. I presume the same number would thank the church for the good done in those schools, but of course, that question was never asked, and we are not allowed to even say that good was done there. I await to see what comes to my inbox. I'm pretty sure you don't, dude. Like, to use that, popular image on the internet, the audacity of the caucasity. This sentient shitheel decided to make it all about him and the church. And, we did good. Really? What kind of good was going on when there was sexual abuse, physical abuse, starvation, just, again, hundreds of unmarked graves because you're not doing good there. Holy fuck. The church is not the victim in this situation. The people are getting mad at the church. Yeah, because the Catholic Church ran 70+% of the residential schools that were done with an intent to commit genocide upon our Indigenous population. You are not the victim here. You are the villain. Oh my God. Apparently he wanted to do all this because, my congregation, my flock as it were, they were just feeling really bummed out from all the negative news from the church. Then maybe the church shouldn't have done and continue to do such terrible things that warrant bad news. If you want the bad news to stop being terrible. It's like Amazon doesn't like all the bad news about it. Well then, fix your problems and then the bad news would stop. It's actually a really easy fix, but they don't see it that way. And that is just, again, super frustrating because this guy and the Catholic Church are trying to deflect blame. No, see, it's totally not our fault. It absolutely is. It really is. The blood of hundreds, if not thousands of innocent Indigenous children are on your supposedly blessed hands. And, again, this just really shows how far we have to go on reconciliation. It is a mountain, and we've only taken like maybe 1 or 2 steps up that terrible, difficult mountain. And plenty of people are already saying, well, you know what? We started and that's good enough, right? It is so clear that between the offenses of the Catholic Church, and again, you know, we can go and talk about government actions and lack of actions and Justin Trudeau taking kids to court all damn day. But for today, with the horrifying revelations from the Cowessess First Nation, that should be the focus. It really should bring home to, again, people like Aaron O'Toole who say, well, I don't know about celebrating Canada Day. You know, it's really hard to celebrate Canada Day or want to celebrate Canada Day when the bodies are literally piling up to the tune of over 1,200 unmarked dead graves for innocent Indigenous people. Really hard to try and celebrate that history and legacy that people continue to struggle with to this day. And the fact that people like Aaron O'Toole and this absolute bastard priest from Mississauga and the Catholic Church in general and anyone else trying to say, well, you know, I'm still going to celebrate Canada Day, or, you know, it wasn't really that bad. You know, there was good. There was attempted good. Look at these graves. Look at the ghosts of over 1,200 children and ask them if good was done. And if you have the ability to do that, then you really need to look inside yourself. But unfortunately, I know you won't, and that's what's bothering me today.